Right then, another Mk5 video. Finally had a chance to get it in and get some stuff done on it. So we're not doing anything too crazy, but we're at the sort of end of this sort of job where everything is time consuming and painful, and if you charge somebody for it, they'd cry. So we're doing all that work. So one of the first jobs we're going to do, depending how bored Paul gets while he's doing it, we're going to put the other bumper back on now. This is a new one that's not been on before, and we spent a bit of time trying to make the front corner fit better. Around here you can't really see, it's got a bit of filler in, a bit of, we've chopped fiberglass a little bit. Same with the front wing, but we'll see, we'll look at all that when it's all back on. But what we've done, the other wings and bonnets and everything, wings and bumper, we've put them into the spares, they're out of the way, and then if we have a crash, they'll just fit straight on. We know they're going to go straight on. We're not going to have to start chopping, grinding, fitting up. It's just straight on. So this is a new bumper. Bit weird because, like you see, it's pulled when we've been wrapping it. No, Gavin's been wrapping it. It's pulled the primer up, but this was primer that we rubbed down and painted. So I don't know why it's done that, but it's a shame because this was going to be the best, the best looking of the bumpers. But anyway. So the grills, we've left them out because we need to lock wire them in, because last time I went over a bumper they just popped out, so that's a bit annoying, but it is what it is. The grill, I think that's going to be the one that stays on this setup. I'm not too sure yet, but whether we put a badge back in or not, I'm not sure, because that is quite a nice bit of airflow going to the radiator as well, so we'll leave that as it is. The splitter, this is one of the two, the other one's already fitted, I think, which I got Craig at Brilliant Stages to cut this out on the CNC router, which it could do with being a little bit wider, but I think we'd catch it more if it were any wider, so we'll leave it as it is. And this is another thing cut out of the Fast and Furious stage flooring. Like this is what they used to use there, but anyway, it's probably a bit thick for what we need, but everybody keeps saying get a thinner one, but if we take 2 or 3 kilos out of this, we've only got to put it back in somewhere else, so there's no point messing about. And I'm not sure, I'll have to see what Paul reckons, but we might mount this a little bit differently. We might put it on some hinges where it goes up to the crash bar, and then we might, maybe even if we could put it on some shocks, it'd be nice, something that moves up and down. But then at the front, we're just going to probably have some wire going sort of into the crash bar as well to stop it pulling down, but it'll let it smack up. Whether we do that or not, I'm not sure, because we ain't hit it yet, but having a bit of movement there to save it just getting smashed to bits every time you hit it. So the other interesting thing that's here as well is the wiring loom. Now this has took Paul absolutely ages to do because you have to strip every single connector off to get this on. But this is basically all the Raychem heat shrink, which I can't remember the exact model number, there's loads of different ones, but this is the chemical resistant one and what have you. And it's all the plugs have been potted in the back and heat shrunk, which that's probably the worst one because it's not shrunk down right nice. But see, they're going nowhere. And basically, because we've done this out, we've done it, Paul's going to fit this in and just warm it up, and then it stays quite rigid. So obviously if you're wanting a really nice flexible loom, you do it with you concentrically twist it and everything and braid it up and whatever you're going to do. But this is not a bad way of doing things because it's quite stiff, which is what we wanted. We didn't want it to be flapping about all the place. The engine doesn't move about too much, but it vibrates a lot. So hopefully this will work. I'm sure there'll be people who do wiring who are wincing at this, saying they'd have done it X, Y, Z, but this is what we think will work, and we've solved a couple of problems that we potentially could have had before. One of the plugs on the regulator, which gave some grief when we were at the last track day, if you want to watch that video, that were giving us the same symptoms as running out of fuel, which were frustrating because it seemed to always do it when it was low on fuel, but we did have it happen once when it weren't, so that's how we isolated that problem. And yeah, it just basically made Paul strip out every little bit of stuff that we didn't need to use because he was very worried that if we ended up with a wire rubbing or chafing somewhere that we weren't even using, like one of the redundant wires that's on the loom at the minute, that'd drag all the reference voltages down, or the earth, it could be putting a positive to the earth or whatever, short to negative. So they were a bit worried about that anyway. I'm not the wiring guy, Paul is, and he said this is what he'd done before we raced it, and we're going to have time to do it. So we'll try and get a bit of a video Paul throwing all this stuff on. Whether it works out or not, I don't know, because as usual, we do all the little bits that don't need me to video it when I'm here, when I'm not here, and then when I need to be here, we can't do the videos. So we'll see how we get on. It's not all going to be completely finished. There's loads of other little bits of stuff to sort on the Mk5 when I'm back in, and we've still got all this stuff to get sorted. The trolleys are sort of getting somewhere near, and got to wait for the spare engine and the spare gearbox to go on there, which we've got all the stuff to build them now. So basically it's just a case of getting everything in and getting it organised, and then hopefully when we get onto the next Luton van video, we can go through what we've done, how we've done it, and why we've done it the way as we have. So see how we get on. So Paul's managed to get all the wiring sorted. So this is the old loom. You can see it's just got the normal factory loom tape, which they're pretty good. It's not too bad. But we had stuff like this that we had to do pretty quickly before for the actuator, because we've gone from a top mounted to a bottom mounted. So we had to nick some wires to make this a bit longer, which we never really liked having these joins where we had them, and obviously not heat shrunk. So we've sorted that out properly. This is still going to be the spare loom, so if we have any problems at all, we can just throw this loom on and away we go. You've got like a few extra bits and bats. I'll have to try and find them here, but there's just that many different plugs on here that we didn't need, which I think is probably that one and that one, the two that we didn't need, and they've got your common 5-volt and some common earths in them as well. So we didn't want to have the problem where you're going to rub a wire that you're not even using and it gives a problem. So obviously there's not much weight difference in them. He's only took a few wires out, so it's not a big deal. But as you can see, it looks a ton better. Obviously we've been able to warm it all up and bend it to where we need to bend it to. And obviously it's not got some of the factory clips to hold it in, but that's not a big deal. It's doing what it needs to do, and it's nice and not too rigid that it'd obviously snap off, but it's not even out to do with that. Well, no line touching that. But yeah, it's a lot nicer, a lot neater, and not going to cause any problems. So hopefully not any problems with it. Anyway, so the other thing that you could see him doing as well was a splitter, which this is version 2 of the splitter, because the other one was solid mounted. We've got some bars that come down, which we'll try and put a picture up of how it all works underneath while I'm talking about it and where it makes sense. But we've basically got a bar coming off the crash bar, and we bolted the original one to that. But obviously that made it quite rigid, and it is quite low. It's not ridiculously low. I think it's about 70 mil, 80 mil off the floor, when the regulation could be 40. So we can still put a bit of rubber on the bottom of this if we want to. But the thing we're a bit concerned about, the guys at Pro-Am Racing put a video up of their splitter and sent us a video of how it worked, and theirs actually moved, which they got gas struts coming from here to the bumper, and that obviously helped it stay where it needed to stay. I think that's probably not the worst idea, but I think it's probably a little bit over-engineered as such for this application, because really all you want to do is stop the splitter bending down. So when we were thinking about how to hinge it, the main worry was if we hinged it just behind the bumper, as you move this up, this bit would want to come back down. So I don't know if you can't see it from here, but we'll get it up in air and have a look, and or Danny will cut something in. But basically Paul's come up with the idea all on himself as well. It's not come out of my brain, so I'm not going to take any credit for it. But basically hinge it really far back, or at least in line with this, the most rearward part, and then when you lift that up, it doesn't actually move down at the back at all. So it does look a little bit dodgy with bumper going up and down, but if you smack a curb or nudge into somebody and that comes up, it's a lot better for that to come up and move everything than it is for the for the splitter just to smash to bits. But as well, to stop it pushing down behind the bumper, Paul's put some just little bits of ratchet strap, and he has had a wind stand on this, and it didn't break off, but we have got some stainless wire coming that's going to go through the bumper grill down to here. So that'll be the next step of this, and that should conclude the splitter setup. But our Paul's made this, basically, if we have a front end smash, all the spare splitter, bumper and everything that we've got can just go straight back on and not cause any problems. So that's pretty good. So next things for this car, really, we've got a bit of brake ducting to make for the front and the rear. A couple of other little bits and bats. I think Paul's going to try and get the airbox to fit back on, just so we can get some cold air feed to it, and we're going to do a few more little things to test. But other than that, it's ready to race anyway, so we'll see what happens in that respect.